What's up everyone, it's Jambors, new video, new day, new Eurovision scandal. It's back again, and also this is this summer season, right? Nothing really is happening. We have a big scandal regarding EBU with the clash with Avrotros, which shouldn't ever happen. There is this video just about what they say and my comment about it. This is like the cataclysm of EBU's long-term very bad communications regarding basically everything connected to Eurovision. It takes time, it's not accurate, there are just those phrases, everything feels constructed, very corporate. This is an issue, you know, it's like this very old school kind of communication which just don't feel really right and believable. So this is one part of the scandal, and the second part is this very huge anti-Israeli sentiment connected also to this scandal somehow from some fans, but also from the comments made by Baby Lasagna in a podcast in Croatian against. He was basically commenting what was happening behind the scenes a little bit, and of course there was this kind of critique for Bambi Tak and other artists who were behaving overreactive against anything connected to Israel. Of course, like in my opinion, you must be very, very blind and deaf if you don't want to see that there were several artists who just really overreacted, and from the very beginning they were overreacting this issue regardless where their political base is or sentiment or whatever. You just could see that if certain person do something and it's from Israel, the reaction is completely different than the other. If you don't want to see it, of course you don't, but I'm on this Baby's Lasagna side. I created a video after that for me he's a true winner, not because I love the song. You know, I'm not a big fan of it. Perfect. I wouldn't say I'm not fan of any song this year at Eurovision. In my opinion, the standards were really lowered in general. This is nothing against the artists, nothing against their craft. It's just a very pragmatical saying about where the Eurovision goes with the public voting only in semifinals. But what it's very important to say is that he didn't take part on any political statements. He just played Eurovision as Eurovision, the celebration of diversity, the celebration of connection between people. You know, play it nice, fun. It's the only show on earth, kind of, which has this goal, you know, like, okay, there are wars all around us. We have completely different opinions, all of us. But in this moment, breathe in, breathe out, we have music and we have only this to care about. Of course, I know this is hardcore to do, it's basically impossible, but at least he's shown that it's possible and we could take it as an example, at least a bit. On the contrary, his comments on the podcast just triggered so many people again. It triggered also the artists who took him out of the Instagram, you know, like this very childish behaviors. Also must be said that he said something like that Bambi Tak barked like a dog, but this is a Croatian expression which, you know, I think this is the other thing which must be said. We are celebrating diversity, but we don't, right? Like for me, for example, I'm Czech, we have so many phrases like that which are very hard to explain, which are not rude, but if you translate them directly to English, they might feel very, very rude, even though they are absolutely not, and they are used in normal conversations. And we are not used to English phrases also, and blah, blah, blah. Everything is happening in English, but instead of connecting us, sometimes it's disconnecting us. And that's because also so many people from the West don't really understand anything about Eastern Europe. It's just a big one, Eastern Europe. Even it's not. We have completely different in Czechia phrases than Croatians, probably they have different than even Serbians, Slovakians, Slovenians, and so on and so on and so on. It's very shattered and it's very hard for us even to communicate this together, and we're having a lot of fun and we're having a lot of jokes among ourselves. And even when you go more Balkanish, it's even stronger, you know, the language kind of. But this is part of the culture, and I think this is absolutely normal, should be acceptable, should be taken. And fans are overreacting and taking everything as, some of fans of course, taking everything as if you don't completely 100% agree with the opinion, because there is only one opinion, we will cancel you because you're problematic. And that's what kind of backlash also to Marco, who basically just said, come on, like everything was extremely overreacted. It made no sense. People, instead of enjoyment, and especially people who are talking about the enjoyment all the time and principle of Eurovision and so on, are basically on contrary doing exactly the opposite of what they are saying. This is called hypocrisy, and he said it in a very nice manner because he was asked, after all, I don't believe that all of those people are friends together like for real. And I'm glad that artists are talking about it and just showing that, hey, come on, like, wake up, this was too much. This is what he did. This is what I liked on what he did, and it's still his opinion. I can agree with it or not, but what I see, and this is the biggest downside of Eurovision nowadays, I would say radical fan community, is that there is only one opinion. If you don't go this opinion, you will be cancelled or you will be called problematic, and this is how it works. This is how it worked in Western countries a lot, this paradigm, which is very, very wrong. First of all, it really is not a tolerance, right? If you are tolerant, if you are open, you don't need to like somebody, but you discuss the opinions, you are in the opinion clash, and you're fine argumentation. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm having lots of argumentations over there because I'm enjoying discussion, but I've never cancelled anybody. Of course, sometimes it's too much when somebody repeats me all the time the same thing, which I already debunked like 5-10 times to many people, or this person itself. I say like, okay, there's only one thing you want to fight for, you don't have arguments for it, but you will continue doing it. I just don't agree, and then the discussion makes no sense, but I still don't cancel the person, I'm still following the person, I'm still curious of the evolution of the ideas, and so on and so on. And I think this is what we should do. Like, it's okay that we don't share the same opinions, it's okay that we don't even agree on topics which are just really putting an accent in between us, like I think this is okay. What is important, what Eurovision radical fans and radical people in general don't do, that they don't discuss in real. They're talking about tolerance, they're talking about open-mindedness, they're talking about needs of discussion and topics, but only their topics, only their discussion, only their arguments. They don't agree with any other argument, they don't accept anything else. It's like a one-way propaganda, it's like one-way direction, and this is the only truth. There is like kind of only truth, but it's never like this is the only truth without discussion. And this is what happened. It's very dangerous, and it's completely against what Eurovision stands for. And when I see that those topics are open nowadays, it doesn't matter if it's just anti-Israeli sentiment or even anti-Semitic or some lefty or right-wing propaganda, this is all coming from the same sources. It's the same kind of thoughts, and it's exactly why Eurovision wasn't developed, wasn't established as a thing. And you're doing exactly the thing what Eurovision stands against. Just don't do it. Respect other people's opinions. Be sensitive on who and how that such people talk. Just debunk it. I think everybody should feel that this is kind of alienated already. You just don't want to accept, because I understand that there are so many things as a fashion, as a generational thing. Now there is this need for fighting against something. For me as a centrist, this is terrible to see that the lack of discussion and extremism of both sides are taking part. And it's just loud and it feels very powerful, but I think at the end of the day, it's not, and it won't end up well for any radicals on the sides, because it's like you're taking a pill, like you feel the symptoms, something is happening, you're having a flu, but after all you fight the flu, and this feels like it. And it's regardless if we have EBU, which seems, at least this Eurovision branch, as incompetent, really, I would say it, and adding more and more managerial roles to solve something what should be solved from completely different position, and feels like this absolutely crazy approach, which we know it from the movies, right? If you're incompetent, you add more roles to just split the incompetence among more people. This is how you do, because no one wants really to have responsibility. And also this is happening on the side of fans who are very radical and say like it must be done like this, and they don't bring any real solution and discussion. So this is what we really should do, and we see that on the corporate level, on the personal level, on some fun level, the discussion is really something what not existent. It's not existent because discussion is not about sharing the same opinion with others. It's about discussing. It's about a clash of opinions, clash of arguments, and we're missing it. And it will be our downfall if we don't learn it, how to do it again. Because how then we can build bridges together? Because after all, you cannot build bridge just one side. This is impossible. We need to build the bridges together, even people who disagree with each other. Because the important thing is there must be a chance that we after all build this bridge, which we will walk all to meet. Because if we won't be able to do it, we will lack of conversation. We won't just do it, and it will never change by not having this bridge. The conversation will just not start, just barking from one bank to other, you know. So think about this. Think about this parallel with the bridge, which I think it's very, very important, and it's very important to start rebuilding, because I think there are big holes already there, and maybe it's already fallen. Just, it's never too late to start anew, right? So let's just think about it. It was a long podcast now, like 12 minutes or something. And I hope you will discuss in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Maybe becoming a subscriber, maybe becoming a member of this channel and helping me to grow this channel, and those thoughts also. And also the clash of thoughts in the comments below is very important. Follow me on my social media and just write me whatever you have on your heart. See you there. Thank you for watching.